So now that we've covered lambda expressions, let's turn our attention to their sibling Java method references. And you're going to see how method references and constructor references, which is a variant of a method reference, provide another very important foundational functional programming feature in modern Java. And we're going to show some examples to demonstrate how these features work. We'll also summarize the benefits of applying method references. So what is a method reference? Well, a method reference is a very compact, easy to read handle, probably should put that in quotes, for a method that has a name. So in contrast, lambda expressions are unnamed blocks of code, whereas method references are names for methods that are used in certain contexts. So it's basically shorthand syntax for a lambda expression that executes a single method. And you can read more about method references at the link at the bottom of the slide. So let's talk about the different types of method references. There's 4 kinds of method references. The first is a reference to a static method. So you're probably familiar with static methods in Java. They're very similar to static methods in C++. You have a containing class, and then you've got a static method name. And a good example might be the value of method for the string class, which is a static method. Now, here on the right-hand side is the lambda expression for using this s arrow string dot value of s. But string : value of is the more concise way of being able to represent that method reference. A method reference is quite a bit like a pointer to member function in C++. You can also have method references that provide a reference to an instance method of a particular object. So if you have some object s of type string, then you can say s : and the name of the instance method. So s : toString, for example. And that's the method reference that corresponds to the lambda expression s arrow s dot toString, which is a bit more verbose. Yet another type of method reference is a reference to an instance method of an arbitrary object of a given type. So in that case, you have the containing type, like string, and then you've got : and the name of the method. So you could have string : toString, and it would work on any object of type string that was relevant in that context. Once again, the lambda expression for this would be s arrow s dot toString. And then the fourth and final type of method reference is actually called a constructor reference, where you have the class name : new. So, for example, string : new, which is equivalent to open close paren arrow new string, but just done in a more concise way. And I'll show you a bunch of examples that demonstrate why having constructor references and method references are often preferable to using the corresponding lambda expression. Let's talk about some of the benefits of method references. The thing that is really nice about method references is that they're very, very compact. They're more compact, more concise than lambda expressions. They support behavior parameterization, however, just like lambdas do. They just do it in a more concise way. So here's an example. We looked at this before. This was the example we just looked at, where we showed first the anonymous inner class way of sorting an array, and I showed you how lambda expressions are more concise than inner classes. However, method references are even more compact and readable than lambda expressions in many cases. So here you can see we just say arrays.sort name array string : compare to ignore case, which again looks very, very much like C++ pointers to member functions or pointers to static member functions. So I think you'll agree with me that that is even more concise than either of these. And so one of the other nice things is you can use Android Studio or IntelliJ to automatically convert things that are lambda expressions to the corresponding method references when that conversion can be done automatically, which it often is. Method references are also nice because they help to promote code reuse. Notice here how the sort implementation on the arrays class doesn't change, but the parameters do. So here we have string : compare to ignore case, but here we can change it to string : compare to. And instead of doing a case-insensitive comparison, we're doing a case-sensitive comparison. And that is essentially the strategy pattern from the good old Gang of Four book, Design Patterns, Elements of Reusable Object-Oriented Software. So as a consequence, it's very good practice to use method references whenever you can. And in fact, many code analysis tools will suggest to you when you can use method references. And in fact, as I just mentioned, IntelliJ and Android Studio will do those conversions for you automatically in many cases. So that's the end of the overview of Java method references. I like to use method references as much as I can, and we'll see lots of examples further down the road where I illustrate how to apply them for interesting, fun case studies.